Farscape Engineers Inspector Summary video. Here we are in Brighton. We have a welded Farscape with some bolting. Mass Building Code 1001.3 states that I must examine, test, or certify this Farscape. This is just the examination. At this time, the Farscape must be structurally sound. It must be kept painted, and it's not. It has been kept painted, but it's not structurally sound. We've got a few issues with it, minor in nature, but once those are resolved, we can then issue an affidavit. That affidavit will come with an opinion letter and a disclaimer or liability letter associated with that. And if there's a certification to be done at this time, we can, but we have to eliminate some concerns, and that is your welds. Sometimes welds cannot be, can only be x-rayed or load tested, but as soon as you pop a bolt through it on a good weld, then it's certified. There's no need for a load test or an x-ray. So this Farscape is through bolted. I don't see any cement issues. The brackets, my only concern with the brackets is that it's through bolted, but then the rest of the bracket is a welded bracket. And as soon as we put bolts in those welded brackets, I'm not going to have a concern. But right now, I don't see any major issues with the brackets. And but I can only issue an opinion on them now. I can't issue a certification on them with a liability disclaimer letter. Treads are all in good order, but again, same as all the other Farscapes, it's starting to rot from the top. A lot of accumulation of dirt, leaves. See, the leaves blow onto it, they break down, and that matter stays wet and just keeps destroying the top paint job. And so you need to clean those out, silicone shut them. That way it'll stop getting water into these things and dirt and accumulation, because she'll start tearing up and she'll bring tears down like it's showing right there, and then she'll make the bolt suspect. A lot of these welded connections are my concern. You got to put a clip in here, bolt. Otherwise, when you start looking at some of these welds, what happens is they rot from the inside out and you can't see it. You can see some tears and some water getting in there. But as soon as you pop bolts in this, pop bolts there and pop bolts down there, I'm not going to have a concern about this. All right, pre-existing non-conforming structure. The treads are new style grading. This is 25 plus years old. And as you can see, my only concern on either side of this is going to be the brackets that they're welded. There is some rust buildup in some of this stuff, but not a major amount. We need to clean this out, and you need to repaint it. You got to silicone shut anything against the building to stop the water from getting back there. Any welded connections, again, we can issue an affidavit, and but it'll come with a disclaimer letter. But as soon as we pop some bolts in some of these welded connections, then it's a certification that we're going to be issuing. So a lot of this is from the top. So the maintenance issue is really going to be a paint maintenance issue on this thing. Now let's bring it down here, and this is going to be the legs to the ground, and we'll stop here, and we'll start talking about the cage and what's going on here, similar to all of them. Farscape Engineers Inspector Summary Video Part 2. What we have here is these slide bolts are not allowed, very dangerous. They're very difficult to open and close. It's supposed to be a push bar. So this is got to be, all of them got to come out, similar to all the other places. So these got to come out so that it's easy for people to get out. This platform is legs to the ground. We're going to talk about the fact that the sonotubes are buried in the ground. We have to find out what's going on with that. Through bolted back into the building, but they still added legs, so I don't know, there must have been a reason why, but I can't see that as of yet. We got some clips. A lot of times when the stringers are welded, a lot of times there's a bolted clip here that basically secures this, but this is a lot of weld here. And if there's any evidence of growth inside the connection, then we got to clean that out and rebolt it, because you can't weld anything. So you see rust building up inside there. There's rust built up inside there. Just any place that water can accumulate will start building up rust. A lot of these stringer clips are welded, so as soon as you put in an angle clip and you bolt it, you eliminate the concern. But otherwise, some of these things need to be opened up, cleansed, sealed with silicone, because the rust is building, and you got another 5 years before this gets examined. Okay, same thing on this side. A lot of these treads, again, from above, you can see how rust is starting to get in there. So minimally, they're going to need that scrape. Silicone shut those edges so that the water stops getting into these bolts. And otherwise, what happens is you lose a bolt. See, this one's already lost a bolt. You got to find out why. And a lot of times they came in and they just welded. Actually, on this one, this whole entire fire escape looks like somebody didn't bother putting in a bolt, and instead what they did is they just welded the nose. So now this is a concern, because I can see that water is getting in here, and so that weld is getting eaten from the inside out. So as soon as you put a bolt back in here, I don't have a concern about that anymore. And these are the concerns about welds. Welds snap in 1, 2, or 3 years. Bolts, they take 10 to 15 years before. The cement pad should be painted, and the clip there should be a clip at the bottom of this to basically rest. And then that clip should be tarred 6 to 8 inches up, so that the snow that accumulates here will not rot the feet. But you try to paint these cement slabs for that purpose. You should not have these into the ground. You got to dig around this and find out where the cement is, and then from there you got to build up a sonotube, a half a sonotube, about 4 to 6 inches above grade, fill it up with cement, and then put an angle clip on it sitting on top of the sono to create the compression. Okay. Otherwise, this is common for people just to throw these into the ground. They rot out of the ground. Again, my only concern is going to be the welded connection issue, and that they're not. This should be a bolt. Otherwise, we can issue affidavits on some of this stuff, but it will come with a disclaimer letter of liability back to the owner of the building. Any questions? Farscape Engineers Inspector Summary Video, 866-649-0333, 866-649-0333.